So, questions for the editor, they said. I'm surprised anybody's interested in me, but if you are, then thank you, I guess. Well, that's got to be the sound of an air-cooled flat 4 engine, I would say. My father had a Type 3 Volkswagen, the variant, the estate, when I was born, I know that. And he changed it after that, very shortly afterwards, for a Citroën GS, which again has an air-cooled flat 4 engine. But something I'm sure I remember, but my mother has lately started to disagree with me, is that I'm sure I was quite often put in a baby carry cot, I mean this was the 70s, between the back seat of an air-cooled Beetle and the engine, right under the back window there. I mean, what better way to keep a crying baby quiet? And even if you couldn't keep them quiet, you wouldn't hear them, would you? I remember it like it was yesterday, like most of us do, I guess. It was a Honda Civic, red one, on the E-plate. That would have been the 3rd generation Civic, what they call the EF, I think. I've got a picture of one here, which certainly looks pretty familiar, so I think it was one of these. And the lady that taught me, she was quite a character, actually. She used to sometimes look across at the lights and she'd go, I reckon you could have him, Paul. Go on, put your foot down when the lights go green. I don't think many driving instructors do that, do they? And you know, she's still teaching. I saw her 3 weeks ago, I think, giving lessons locally here. So fair play to her. That's easy. That was yellow Volkswagen Beetle, 74 1300 Beetle. In fact, this very car here in this tattered photo that I've just found in my loft. I had the marathon wheels there, the world champion wheels. I had my Coney dampers and disc brakes. It really drove well, this one, I do remember. I sold it because I bought my first house and I needed a more practical car. I would like this one back. If someone's out there with YYC 458N in their garage or shed and it probably needs a bit of welding now, well, you know where to find me. We'll talk. Well, it's inevitable, really. My dad was an editorial director down at Haynes, the car manual people, so I was bound to end up in car publishing of one sort or another. My first publishing job was on a Volkswagen magazine, unsurprisingly, and from there I moved to a company that did everything from rallying magazines to trucking magazines, and I ended up as editor on Fast Forward magazine. And then I came to Kelsey as editor of Total BMW magazine, and I did that for quite a few years until I was offered the chance to work on Classic Car Mart. I've built up quite a stack here, as you can see. So I did that for quite a few years until one day the boss called me in and he said, you know, how about trying something completely different? And the offer was to take on our weekly newspaper, Classic Car Buyer, as well as Classic Car Mart. And I'd only ever worked on monthly magazines, so that was a bit of a change. And I thought, well, sometimes you've got to push your boundaries, haven't you? Get outside your comfort zone. And that was 2 or 3 years ago now, and I'm glad I did. I've learned a lot, I have to say. Regardless of your politics, I would say that anyone who can put together a daily newspaper to a decent standard every day, I'll take my hat off to them, because that cannot be easy. I answered the phone in the office at Fast Forward one day, and on the other end of the line was someone from Ford's PR department. And they said, we've got these Mustangs in Milan. We were using them down there for a driving event, and they all need to get back to London. Any of you guys fancy flying down to Milan and driving them back for us? Yeah, we did fancy that, as it happened. And what a trip. Driving through the Mont Blanc tunnel in the 5-litre Mustang with the V8 blaring back with the windows open. More recently, I would say, following the Mille Miglia with Jaguar Heritage. And the Italian police just waving us through the red lights in our XF chase car, and we were following the racing cars. And I went into the scrutineering sheds and I actually lost count of the number of Mercedes Gullwings that I could see. What an event, what an atmosphere. Especially when they let me drive the C-Type, a real C-Type too, not a replica. So that's something that stuck with me for certain. I've had a lot that I regret buying. The one I regret selling, well, people say to me quite often, I bet you regret selling your 205 GTI, don't you, Paul? And I think, well, I don't really, because back in the day when I sold my 205 1.9 GTI, it was just another car, you know, and they were a bit annoying as a car when they were quite new, because there was always a squeak or a rattle or something not quite right, or it needed servicing, or it generally needed a pair of front tyres. Certainly mine did. I had an E28 520i automatic BMW, most reliable and the most relaxing and just great. Blue paintwork, blue seats, blue carpet, blue doors, blue dashboard, blue steering wheel, blue headlighting, I think. I think my sister used to call it the Easy Rider, which probably summed it up perfectly. I'd just like to try it again. You certainly can't buy E28s for 500 quid anymore. I'd have to keep my Alpha Spider, wouldn't I? I've had that for so long now. I'd like another Beetle, actually. I'd like something a bit more exciting that's air-cooled. And I'd really like a 914. I've always liked those. 914-6, I think that would sit nicely in my garage. I'd really like an XK120. I did drive one recently and I just thought it was wonderful. An early 4-door Range Rover. I'd definitely like one of those in that dream garage. The early one with the clunky manual shift and the teddy bear seats and the radio down by your knee and all that. Probably in a sort of plain brown or white, something like that. Aston Martin Lagonda, the William Towns one that looks like a big 700 series Volvo. I think they're just so outrageous. I mean, people laugh at me for that. Well, I think they're absolute business. And I'd also like my favourite BMW of all time. That's the E39 M5, the V8 M5. Just the last of the traditional M5s with a V8 engine, 3 pedals, manual box. Just a lovely car. In fact, that's another standout memory of a career on car magazines. Is the day the guy from BMW pulled up outside my house with a covered trailer, and he backed off the trailer in an M5, and he said, "See you next week." That was a good day. But now I'm up to, that's more than 5, isn't it? Oh.
We've teamed up with Lancaster Insurance to give away this awesome Ford Escort XR3i. You can enter at the link on screen or at various classic car shows this year. Get involved and for completely free you could win this hot hatch icon.